Sonia and Tola's love story began in early 2023. It was a relationship that was forged in mutual love, trust, and hope. Despite Tola's financial struggles, Sonia loved him deeply. She was drawn to his vision and determination. For her, his humble beginnings were nothing compared to the bright future she saw in him. On the other hand, Jane, Sonia's best friend and roommate, lived a flashy lifestyle. She wasn't committed to any one boyfriend, but had several who catered to her extravagant tastes. Every week, Jane flaunted new gifts, designer bags, expensive perfumes, and words of cash, making subtle digs at Sonia for sticking with Tola. "Babe," Jane often said with a smirk, "I still don't get why you're wasting time on Tola. Look at me. Life's too short to wait for promises when you can have everything now." Sonia would laugh it off. "Tola might not have much now, but he's got a good heart. It's worth everything I could wait for." By December 2024, Tola and Sonia were gearing up to celebrate their one-year anniversary. Tola had been saving for months, determined to make the day special despite its limited resources. The evening started with a simple yet heartfelt dinner at a cozy restaurant. Afterward, they returned to Tola's modest apartment, where he surprised her with a cake and a handwritten letter that left her teary-eyed. "Tola, this is beautiful," Sonia whispered, a voice trembling with emotion. "You have outdone yourself." "You deserve everything, Sonia," Tola replied, holding her hand. "One day, I'll give you the world. Just stay with me." When Sonia returned home the next morning, her heart was full, but her joy was short-lived. Jane burst into the room, flaunting a stack of crisp dollar bills, a bouquet of roses, and a new designer dress. "Look what Derek got me last night," Jane chirped. "And that's not even half of it. Men who know your worth will spend on you, babe." Sonia tried to shrug it off, but when Jane noticed she had come home empty-handed, the jabs began. "So, babe, tell me, what did your Tola get for your anniversary?" "Oh, wait, let me guess. A candlelit dinner and a love letter?" Jane said, laughing. Sonia didn't reply, but Jane's words stung. That night, she lay in bed, her mind clouded with doubt. Was Jane right? Was she settling for too little? The following day, Sonia called Tola and asked to meet. Sitting across from him in a small living room, she made a demand. "Tola, I need a new phone. The latest iPhone," she said bluntly. "And I also want new wigs and some extra cash." Tola frowned, taken aback. "Sonia, is your phone broken, or do you need the money for something important, like a business idea?" "No," she replied, avoiding his gaze. "It's just that I want to keep up. I want to feel like I belong when I'm around my friends." Tola sighed deeply. "Sonia, I'll give you everything you want, but I need time. You know, I'm still trying to get my business off the ground." His words only frustrated her. "Time? Tola, I've waited long enough." Without waiting for his response, she grabbed a bag and left, leaving him completely heartbroken. Days later, Sonia learned that Jane was hosting a lavish birthday party, something Jane had lied about earlier, claiming she would keep it low-key. Furious, Sonia confronted her when she returned home. "Why didn't you tell me about the party?" Sonia demanded. Jane smirked. Because, babe, you look out of place. My crowd is different, you know. Very classy. But don't worry, I'll introduce you to someone who can help you level up. True to her word, Jane introduced Sonia to Marcus, a wealthy businessman with a penchant for spoiling women. The first outing left Sonia stunned. Marcus bought her the latest iPhone without batting an eye. When she returned home, Jane grinned. Babe, you see? Now you're playing the game right. But deep down, Sonia felt uneasy. She didn't love Marcus. His lavish gifts filled a material void, but left her heart completely empty. On December 31st, Tola called Sonia, asking to see her. But she lied, claiming she was sick. Concerned, Tola showed up at her apartment the next day with fruits and medication. Sonia, I was worried, he said as he opened the door. Before she could respond, his eyes fell on the sleek new iPhone on the table. His heart sank. You lied to me? Tola said, his voice heavy with disappointment. You said you were sick, but you're fine. And where did you get that phone? Sonia stammered, unable to meet his gaze. It's just a gift. Tola shook his head, placing the bag of fruits and medicine at her feet. I never thought you'd become someone who measures love by things, by material things. Happy New Year, Sonia, he said and walked away, leaving Sonia in a whirlwind of guilt and confusion. As the clock tickled closer to midnight, Sonia sat alone, staring at the phone Marcus had given her and the medicine Tola had left behind. Her mind raced with conflicting emotions. What had she done? Was it too late to fix things with Tola, or had she already lost the one man who truly loved her? The sound of fireworks in the distance snapped her out of thought. It was New Year's Eve, but for Sonia, the future felt uncertain. And somewhere across town, Tola sat in his dimly lit room, staring at his phone, contemplating whether to call Sonia one last time or let her go for good. Will Sonia realize a mistake and fight to win back Tola's trust? Or has she already crossed the line that cannot be undone? Stay tuned for the next episode of this gripping love story.
As the clock struck midnight on New Year's Eve, Sonia sat alone in a room, overwhelmed by guilt and regret. Tola's parting words echoed in her mind. It was a painful reminder of the love she had carelessly pushed away. Yet, as regret lingered, she also couldn't shake the excitement of her newfound lifestyle. Marcus, with his endless stream of money and gifts, had made her world vibrant and glamorous. The following weeks were a whirlwind of expensive dinners, shopping sprees, and high-end parties. Marcus introduced her to a cycle of wealthy friends, all exuding power and control. But the more time Sonia spent with Marcus, the more uneasy she felt. One evening, as she searched for herrings in Marcus's bedroom, she stumbled upon a gun in the drawer of his bedside table. Her heart pounded as she quickly shut the drawer. That night, as Marcus lay beside her, Sonia lay wide awake, her mind clouded with fear. What am I doing here? She whispered to herself. Marcus, though charming, was far from the caring and gentle Tola she once knew. He had a short temper and a mysterious past he never wanted to speak about. And despite his attention to Sonia, she noticed a string of women constantly coming in and out of his life. Jane, on the other hand, seemed to be thriving. She had fully embraced the high life, with Derek showering her with everything she desired. But Sonia couldn't ignore the strange vibes she got from Derek. One evening, Jane returned home visibly upset. "What's wrong?" Sonia asked, watching Jane toss her designer handbag onto the couch. "It's Derek," Jane said, her voice trembling. "He's controlling. Sometimes I feel I'm just a pawn in his game." Sonia frowned. "Then, why don't you just leave?" Jane scoffed. "Leave? And go back to struggling? No way. I'll figure it out. And besides, you are no better. You're with Marcus, aren't you?" Sonia stayed silent, knowing Jane had a point. Both of them had chosen luxury over peace, and deep down she knew they were playing with fire. Now the night of horror came. It was on a cold February night that everything came crashing down. Marcus had invited Sonia to a private gathering at Derek's mansion, a sprawling estate on the outskirts of the city. Sonia felt uneasy, but agreed to go after Jane assured her it would be fun. The party was unlike anything Sonia had ever seen. The mansion was filled with wealthy men and scantily dressed women, all drinking and laughing as loud music played in the background. Sonia stayed close to Jane, who seemed unusually tense. At some point, Marcus and Derek led Sonia and Jane to a secluded room under the guise of a private toast. The room was dimly lit, and Sonia's heart sank as she noticed several other men waiting inside. Before Sonia could react, Marcus grabbed her arm. "Relax, babe. This is just a little fun," he said with a sinister grin. Sonia's instincts screamed danger. She tried to pull away, but Marcus tightened his grip. Beside her, Jane was already struggling as Derek and another man cornered her. "Let us go!" Sonia yelled, but the men only laughed. Derek's tone turned dark. "You should be honored. You are part of something bigger." What happened next was a blur. Sonia watched in horror as the men pinned Jane down. Jane's screams echoed through the room as Derek whispered something about a renewed ritual. She grabbed a vase from the nearby table and smashed it on Marcus's head. As he stumbled, she bolted for the door, adrenaline fueling her escape. Sonia ran barefoot into the night, her tears blurring her vision. She didn't stop until she reached a nearby highway, where she flagged down a passing car. The driver, an older man named Mr. Okoro, noticed her disabled state and took her to a nearby police station. Through sobs, Sonia recounted what she had seen. The officers assured her they would investigate, but she knew Jane was gone. Days later, the news broke. Jane's body had been found in a shallow grave near the mansion. Derek and his friends had disappeared, leaving no trace. Sonia's world crumbled. The trauma of that night forced Sonia to reflect on her choices. She realized how far she had strayed from the value she once held so dear. Tola, with his kind heart and genuine love, had been a rancor, and she had let him go for empty promises. Determined to make amends, Sonia mustered the courage to visit Tola. She rehearsed her apology repeatedly, hoping he would forgive her. When she arrived at his apartment, she was surprised to find it transformed. The once modest home now exuded warmth and comfort, with new furniture and decorations. Tola opened the door, his expression unreadable. "Sonia," he said, his tone calm. "Tola, I am so sorry," Sonia began, tears streaming down her face. "I made a terrible mistake." I let greed and bad influences ruin what we share. Please, give me another chance. Before Tola could respond, a soft voice called from inside. Babe, who is at the door? Sonia froze as a young woman appeared, a smile fading when she saw Sonia. This is Sophia, Tola said, his voice steady. She's my girlfriend. Sonia's heart shattered. She wanted to scream, to beg, but she knew it was too late. Tola had moved on. As Sonia walked away, her mind raced with memories of the life she had given up. Tola's words, his sacrifices, his unwavering love, they all haunted her. Back in her empty apartment, Sonia stared at the remnant of her once glamorous life. The iPhone, the designer bags, the dresses, they all felt meaningless now. For the first time in months, Sonia knelt beside her bed and prayed. She prayed for strength, for forgiveness, and for the courage to start all over again. Tola, now thriving in his business, found happiness with Sophia, a woman who supported and believed in him through his struggles. For Sonia, life was a blank slate. She had lost everything, but in her loss, she found clarity. The memory of Jane's tragic end and her own near-death experience served as a constant reminder of the cost of chasing empty dreams. As the days turned into weeks, Sonia began rebuilding a life, one step at a time. And though the road ahead was uncertain, she vowed never to let greed and bad influences dictate a path again. And with that, we've come to the end of the story. Do you think Sonia should ever find peace after losing everything? What do you think lies ahead of her now that she's hit rock bottom? Do you think she has another chance at redemption? Kindly let us know in the comment below. Thanks for staying tuned to the very end, and please stay connected for more gripping tales of love, betrayal, and redemption. And wait, are you a subscribed member yet? If you aren't, kindly make sure you click on the subscription button and make sure you give this video a like while also sharing the link with your loved ones. See you in the next video.